Kakadosh Boker Tov. We're just going to mention a few halachot which are prevalent to the coming days. Bezrat Hashem, we know that tomorrow, which basically starts tonight, and tomorrow and Sunday is going to be Shabbat, and it's going to be also Rosh Hodesh for Shabbat and Sunday. So now there's going to be a machloka between Sfaradim and Ashkenazim. How do we do with Haftarah? Normally when Rosh Hodesh falls out on Shabbat, so therefore Rosh Hodesh takes precedence and we read the Haftarah of Rosh Hodesh. And if it would be, for example, on a regular Shabbat, so therefore you would read the Haftarah of Shabbat Rosh Hodesh, and then you would read the first and last pasuk of Machar Chodesh, because also Sunday is going to be Rosh Hodesh as well. However, though here on this Shabbat, it comes out that there's going to be a difference because of what's coming out in the order of the weeks. We know that there's going to be 10 weeks from the 3 weeks of the Shlosha de Puranuta, which is Plata de Puranuta, the 3 of the bad signs, which basically we read throughout the 3 weeks, starting from Shiva Asar B'Tammuz until Tisha B'Av, and that's why when it finishes with Shabbat Chazon and Parashat Devarim, and then afterwards what we have is the next 7 weeks. So the next 7 weeks, which is going to take us to Rosh Hashanah, is basically going to be Sheva de Nechamata, 7 weeks of consolation, which we are being consoled by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So therefore what happens now is that according to the Sfaradim, our minhag is that we actually read the regular haftarot, whether it's going to be the Tlata de Puranuta or the Sheva de Nechamata, the 7 of Nechama, even though Rosh Chodesh will fall out on it, which means that usually Rosh Chodesh overrides, and therefore you would read the Haftarah of Rosh Chodesh and you wouldn't read the Haftarah of the general week. Here, during this week period, which is going to be the 3 weeks and then the 7 weeks of Nechamata, we are going to read the regular Haftarah, and then afterwards, for the Sfaradim, what we do is that we add the first and last pasuk of Haftarat Shabbat Rosh Hodesh, and then the first and last pasuk of Haftarat Machar Chodesh. The Ashkenazim will continue with the general rule, and they will override this week's Haftarah. So they will actually read the Shabbat Rosh Hodesh Haftarah. That is the minhag of the Ashkenazim. But for Sfaradim, we already mentioned, right, as we just mentioned beforehand. The next thing is going to be the Ledavid. We know that the minhag is to say Ledavid throughout the entire month of Elul. Our minhag is only to start it on Aleph of Elul and not Lamed of Av. Remember, whenever there's a double 2 days of Rosh Hodesh, the first day of Rosh Hodesh is always the 30th of the previous month, and the next day, the second day, which is Aleph of the next month. So therefore, Av is always Maleh, which means always will have 30 days, right, because of the Tu B'Av. And therefore, what happens is that the first day of Rosh Chodesh is Lamed, and the second day of Rosh Chodesh is Aleph. So our minhag is only to start the Ledavid. So we will be starting on Motzei Shabbat. That is the first time that we start Ledavid Baruch, right? Ledavid that we usually say Ledavid Hashem Ori V'Yishim Imira, and we do not start it on the Lamed, right, of the Av, which is going to be tonight. So we do not say tonight and tomorrow morning Ledavid. We only say it on Motzei Shabbat and onwards. Remember that Selichot Bezrat Hashem will be starting on Monday morning. We do not say Selichot on Rosh Hodesh, and therefore the first day that we say Selichot will be on Monday morning. So Monday morning we will have the 2 different minyanim, which we will start on Selichot. To remember what's written there, if it's written 525, I think it is, it's going to be already Ben Adam, which means that beforehand we will start with Yashen Al Teradam, right, Rayonai and all the other things we will start beforehand, and at 5:25 a.m. will be Ben Adam, and then we will continue in order to do the nets for the rest of Elul Bezrat Hashem.